Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I am Andrew Moran, Allen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week is $100 a barrel oil next. Oil prices have come a long way from sub-zero territory last year. Some people thought this was the end of the energy commodity and that it would be the dawn of renewables. But as history has shown, black gold is not going anywhere. You never count it out. U.S. crude oil prices are flirting with $70 a barrel, while Brent, the international benchmark for oil prices, recently topped $71 a barrel. The 98% gain in crude prices has been driven by various factors: declining output, an easing of the global supply glut, a slow but steady increase in demand, and the Federal Reserve fueling the industry's revival with money printing and historically low interest rates. Indeed, if you purchased oil stocks or oil ETFs last year, you are raking in the Texas tea. So, has the energy sector peaked, or is there still room for growth? In recent weeks, financial analysts have been forecasting a commodities supercycle. This is a trend whereby commodities skyrocket for an extended period of time, from copper to soybeans to oil to corn. Some financial institutions believe oil might have its own supercycle. Jeffrey Curry of Goldman Sachs and Christian Malek of JP Morgan Chase have been some of the financial experts discussing oil rising at $80 and even $100. Francisco Blanch, head of commodities and derivative research at Bank of America Securities, is calling for $100 oil in the next 3 years on global demand growth. The last time oil traded in the $100 range was in the middle of 2014, but even before the coronavirus pandemic, oil prices had been coming down because of the oversupply in global crude markets. In 2016, a barrel of U.S. crude had traded at a low of $27. The good old days. Until everyone starts driving Teslas, oil demand will continue to skyrocket. Industry analysts think that once the world moves beyond the COVID-19 public health crisis and all the various restrictions, demand will outpace supply. And this makes sense, considering that OPEC has cut production levels and Saudi Arabia has voluntarily slashed 100 million barrels per day from its oil output. U.S. crude production also fell below 12 million barrels per day in 2020. Is this all but guaranteed? The biggest concern for the energy sector could be the resuscitation of Iran's energy sector. The United States has placed Iran under sanctions, a move that has decimated its crude sector. Iran is sitting on so much oil that it is selling its inventories at a discount. And the one country that is gorging on the sanctioned discounted crude? China. China has turned into a massive energy importer over the last 12 months, importing double-digit numbers of both natural gas and crude oil. Could China become the biggest driver of crude oil markets in the next 12 months again? Meanwhile, others contend that $100 may be a pipe dream, arguing that OPEC's reductions are artificial since the multi-nation cartel possesses enough spare capacity to meet any shortfall stemming from skyrocketing demand. Whatever the case, higher oil prices are here to stay, and they are not falling back down to sub-zero levels, and this means higher gasoline prices for motorists. The national average price of gasoline recently inched higher for the 9th straight week, increasing 5 cents per gallon to $2.79. At the height of the first wave of the COVID-19 public health crisis, the price of gasoline had plunged to a 4-year low of $1.74 a gallon. In the end, life is going to get more expensive with higher oil prices. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column where I discuss the record federal deficit, the European Central Bank's inflation forecasts, and, of course, gasoline prices. Thank you.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.